go. All right. Now, how's everybody doing? It is Wednesday night, and we're back to Little Sunspot Live. Hey, starting off, Mr. Andy Pfeiffer. Hey, nerds. Who's all here tonight? Well, Andy, first of all, you get a Patreon oofda, right?
Hey,
so,
Andy.
1, 2, 3, oofda. Yes. So, hope that's good for you. And, Anto. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oof to Anto. Hope you're doing well. Anto was at NAMM in Anaheim, I saw, and you're going to have to tell us about the coolest guitar you saw, Anto. And yes. Pam from the cities. Pam? Hope you're doing well, Pam. Oofda to you. Paycheck 1, 2, 3. Oofda.
What's up, Pam?
Good to see you. Vic, que pasa, amigos? Mr. Hidalgo.
Hey.
Senor Hidalgo. Hope you're doing well.
Salt Liquor Lime.
A Salt Liquor Lime to you, Vic. Hey, right on. Right on. And Chris, another Minnesota connection. Finally have a Wednesday free. Well, happy Wednesday.
Yay,
happy Wednesday. And a 1,
free.
2, 3. Eins, zwei, drei, oofta to you, Miss Chris. Okay. That's a way to get things started. I always love the beginning because they have a chance to drink your beer as quickly as possible with all the ooftas. That's nice.
I learned my lesson early with these, not to pour like the fine whiskey right up front because I'm going to end up doing like 12 shots.
Smart.
Yeah. No, the pandemic, when we were doing these during the pandemic, that's how I learned how to drink whiskey. I specifically...
How to sip.
To sip. I specifically got whiskey so that I would sip it instead of beer because beer you could chug and stuff. And then after like doing it every week for 6 months or whatever, I was starting to chug whiskey, and that's like, hey, Daddy's got a problem. So yeah, so that was just had to figure that out kind of thing. Anyway.
Vic knows all about chugging whiskey.
Yes, Vic knows that Ben has shown him the finest of the Canadian club in Austin, Texas. And Andy, root beer is still my beverage of choice, but I'm not having any this late. That's a good idea. I try not to drink after 9 p.m., and that comes from something that happened to me as a boy. I remember it was a Sunday night. I was like 5 years old or something like that. Like Heart to Heart was on. Remember Robert Wagner and said that's every part. I thought it was a cool show when I was 5, and so it was like a Sunday night. It was late, and I went to get some fruit punch or whatever right at night, like 9 o'clock when it started. And my mom's like, "Well, you can stay up tonight, and watch your show." And then she's like, "But be careful with drinking that fruit punch, because it's late and you don't want to wet the bed." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to wet the bed. Don't worry about it. It's not going to happen." So I drank the fruit punch, and then, of course, I pissed in the bed.
Yeah. See, I thought you were going to say that she didn't want you to have it because the sugar would keep you up late. But
no. It was. She was right. She's like, "Hey, just a warning. When you drink late, sometimes that's what happens." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's don't worry about that." I was wrong.
True wisdom.
So now every time, like it's 9 o'clock, if I see the clock and it's 9, and this has happened to me for the past 40 years or whatever, I'm like, oh, well, I'll make sure I go to bed. Anyway.
Nice.
So Andy, that's just, I'm just saying, Andy, I feel you when you're like, hey, might be a little bit late for root beer. It was a little late for fruit punch, and I didn't have waterproof sheets. Now I take care of that by waterproof, obviously. Anyway, hey Andy, I'm sure your mom was pissed off. Right. Okay. All right. So everybody that came in, hi. Hey, Pam loved Heart to Heart. Right? I don't know. It's a good show. Robert Wagner. Did he kill his wife Natalie Wood? I don't know, but he was a good actor. He also was number 2 in Austin Powers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't even make that connection, but that was a sweet show.
And Rob Lowe when Rob Lowe played number 2 in Austin Powers 2 and did a Robert Wagner impersonation. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, John.
Also,
Hey,
hot
y'all.
chocolate, a good choice.
1, 2, 3. Oof, there's John.
hey, John.
Right on.
Cheerio.
Right on, John. Okay.
Nice to see friendly faces in here, even though I don't see your
It
faces.
is.
I'm imagining them. With each of your name, I'm imagining.
She has to imagine friendly faces because
floating
otherwise
right
she's
here.
got to look at me in bed.
Oh, come on. Your faces are friendly enough.
Yeah, I try. Really try to be Mr. Friendly.
I can tell.
Um,
So you don't have the glamour shots this week. You're floating through space.
No, that's right. No glamour shots.
No
this week.
lasers.
Just hanging out. So I just thought that I like to have movement in the background. I like to feel that something's going on.
It makes me hypnotized.
That's
I
what
like
I'm
the black hole one.
That's
The one that looks
exactly.
like you get sucked into a black hole. I like that one.
Well, you see, that's exactly why I do it for the hypnosis, Wendy. Because then when people are
Yes,
hypnotized,
master.
right? And then what do you say? Patreon.com/sunspotmusic. That's exactly what you say as soon as people
gotta
feel
get-
hypnotized.
There. Get it under the dark.
So anyway, all right. Hey, so this week, all right. Oh, and Lisa, I almost missed you, Lisa. We need to do a nice Patreon oofta for Lisa. Hello from Mardi Gras. All right.
Yes.
So much
Right.
fun.
I can't
Oofda,
wait.
Lisa.
Yeah, oofda, Miss Lisa. Can't wait to get down there, and I'm going to earn my beads this year.
I've seen them.
Yeah, it's gonna be Mike. It's gonna be Mike Gone Wild. Remember the Girls Gone Wild ads? Like that
I
was
was
a thing.
just about to remember one of our roommates purchased that.
I've never seen it, but the whole thing was like 10 o'clock at night. All of a sudden there'd be this infomercial for half an hour. Like who saw that and was like, boy, I really like to watch that. I mean, I guess they made a lot of money. The Girls Gone Wild people made a lot of money, and I mean, who would like to watch that? A lot of people. When is it Mike Gone Wild? That is true, Chris. I
Nice.
yes.
Your reputation precedes you.
Right, we've done some church gigs and stuff and kept it on.
Yes. No, okay. So Wendy in the private chat here is like, no. She's like, we watched it at the thing, and I don't remember
Wait a
watching
second.
Girls Gone.
Thank
I
you.
remember.
It's Mike. It's a private chat for a reason.
I know, but I can say something if it's berating me, but now Jerry Springer. I remember Jerry Springer Gone Wild, because I had ordered that myself. So I was the guy who ordered. I was the roommate. I didn't order Girl, but I ordered Jerry Springer. It was too hot for TV,
Gosh.
and I did order it.
Okay.
But right, we did watch it a lot. So Wendy was quite correct that a bunch of horny dopes put it on and let it go. Anyway,
you guys were watching that when we came home for my 21st birthday, I believe.
yeah. Well, it was Jerry's. We were interested in learning about television production. Anyway, okay.
Jerry.
Well, speaking of the past, I did. So I don't know. Do any of you guys follow David Lee Roth on Facebook or YouTube or anything like that?
No, but I probably should, because A Different Kind of Truth is one of the best albums of the decade.
Yeah,
right.
It's great. I mean, Eddie Van Halen's dead though, so there's not going to be another one. But David Lee Roth has a thing called The Roth Show, where he's it's like a podcast, and
Cool.
yeah, I mean, yes, it's cool. David Lee Roth's always entertaining, at least, because you don't know what he's going to say, and he's a lunatic. Right, Andy, that is correct. Zippity bop. That is exactly right.
Posy bop, zippity bop.
But okay, so he tells a whole story though on the latest podcast. This is like last week, of Wolfgang Van Halen, and Wolfgang Van Halen took over as the bass player in Van Halen in 2009, when they all got back or 2008 when they all got back together with David Lee Roth, and it's and so instead of Michael Anthony, it was Wolfgang Van Halen. Okay, I was gonna say Liza Minnelli. Definitely not Liza Minnelli. Valerie Bertinelli and Eddie Van Halen's son. Not Liza Minnelli and Eddie Van Halen's son. Very, very different. Okay. So, but he goes in and he does this whole, it's like a 10-minute story about how he said that Wolfgang complained that David Lee Roth wasn't giving enough attention on stage. And so I was complaining about it, and then would try to get people kicked off in David Lee Roth's entourage or whatever.
Drama.
Anyway, it's this really little bitter, kind of bitchy story, with David Lee Roth saying, he's like, calls him the kid and makes some jokes, and it's kind of sounds like an a-hole, which, hurts. It hurts me because I love David Lee Roth. And then I was like, well, there's always those stories or whatever of, why bands didn't get along and things like that. So then I started listening to old interviews with Eddie Van Halen from like from like that time period before they reunited. And so David Lee Roth kind of sounds like a bitch. And then he's also a lunatic. Like whatever he says is like, you're like, is he joking? Is he for real? Like, what does this have to do with anything? Is he wasted? Like all those kind of things. I mean, and so Eddie Van Halen, in his interviews, he also sounds like a lunatic, like just as mean. And he's talking about
Really?
he's talking about Michael Anthony. Now, Michael Anthony's a bass player, sings real high, and he's talking about him to Howard Stern. And I listened to the whole interview, and he calls so Michael Anthony's real name is Michael Sobolewski.
Sweet.
And which is a proud Polish name, right?
Right.
And,
Fell apart.
and Eddie's just like, he just keeps on calling him Little Sobolewski. Like he keeps on just like in the interview, he's like, oh, Little Sobolewski was more interested in selling hot sauce than he was in working on the band. Like all this stuff. And he's like, and then Sammy Hagar, he talks about Sammy Hagar, and he rips in, and Michael Anthony and Sammy Hagar are friends. And they played together, and they were touring together as the other half, which is the idea that the other half of Van Halen and Eddie and Alex, the drummer, were the others. And Eddie's just like, you know who the other half of Van Halen is? My brother Alex. And he just goes and he's just really talking shit to Howard Stern about everybody. Just about everybody. And he's slurring his words, and he sounds wasted. And you're just like, this is, And then he had just scored a porno movie. Not scored. Like he did not like he went, like he ordered it off, like
like, well, look at I scored, guys.
Right.
Check this out.
Not like me scoring Too Hot for TV off the 1-800 number. It was.
Oh my gosh.
It was more like that he had done the musical score for.
Oh, I thought you meant like he was going to be in it.
Eddie. All 5'9" Eddie. Whatever. Come on. I mean, Eddie did have like abs up until like even in his 60s and stuff like that. So I'll give him that. But when all you ingest is Merlot or Shiraz, I think Shiraz, like he would just walk around with a bottle of Shiraz at his house before he went to rehab. And Sammy Hagar said that it looked like a
Shiraz.
He said it looked like a garbage dump or whatever. Anyway, but Eddie just sounds wasted. He sounds mean. He's talking about everybody like he hates him. 2 years later, he reunites with David Lee Roth, and he does an interview with this guy named Chuck Klosterman. And Chuck Klosterman wrote a great book called Fargo Rock City. And so I recommend everybody who loves 80s rock to read Fargo Rock City because it's awesome. Like when Chinese Democracy by Guns N' Roses came out, The Onion purposely hired Chuck Klosterman to write the review of it, even though he didn't write for them because they knew a lot of people would be interested in what Chuck had to say about Chinese Democracy. But anyway, so in an interview with Chuck Klosterman, Eddie's like, yeah, Michael Anthony can't even play bass. He just goes in and he's like, I had to videotape myself playing all the parts so he'd be able to do it. And
oh man,
he's like, he didn't do shit. He's really rough on him, and
harsh.
And it just made me think about this story I read in 1989 or whatever in Rip magazine, and I was at the grocery store and I was reading it. It was an interview with Don Dokken. And he was talking about a night that he and Eddie were hanging out backstage, and they'd never really hung out before, even though they'd played in the same circles in the same clubs in the late 70s. And he was like, me and Eddie were just hanging out, and he's like, boy, you're not the asshole I thought you were going to be. And I'm like, boy, you're not the asshole I thought you were, and it was just like when two assholes meet, of course, they're going to be like, these guys are great, butt to butt. These, it just was really funny thinking about that, of like the stories from the 80s. And then when you hear people talk, you're like, oh man, I guess these guys and David Lee Roth and Eddie Van Halen are two sides of the same lunatic coin. And even Eddie Van... Oh, go ahead, Ben.
And here I thought both of you were great this whole time. So
Nice.
Right. Well, maybe that's why we're not as successful as Van Halen. We should just be bigger jerks.
right, we're still trying to get to the point where we only talk to each other through our lawyers.
Right. We got to be able to afford lawyers first.
Right.
Need more rock star attitude, I guess.
But it's just a fascinating thing to me. It's like, oh, these guys, the fact that they were so insufferable is probably the reason why there's so much energy, because you never know if somebody's going to fly off the handle or what's going to happen. But even at the end of the interview, Eddie Van Halen says, like, well, it seems like the people like the sound of Van Halen better with David Lee Roth. So that's why we're going on tour, so that we can play. So, we're doing it for the people. So he was suffering for his art for you.
Gee, what a sacrifice.
For you.
That's big of him.
Okay, and here it comes. Government Zero. Our friends in Government Zero showed up. Hey, on the YouTube, which one you would consider to be the Oko Ono of that situation? Obviously, it was David Lee Roth, because he left. Because he got too big for his britches, and he went off and did his own thing. So I think that's probably the reason why he is the Yoko Ono of that situation. And Andy's got some advice from Taylor Swift. Tay-Tay. Taylor Swift advice for aspiring musicians: get a good lawyer. Best to listen to the reigning queen of pop, to be honest.
She
Sure.
Knows a thing or two.
Yeah. Well, I mean, her lawyer recommended that she re-record all her albums.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, she's obviously making a lot of money.
We should
all
do
right.
the same thing.
We're going to re-record them all.
Sunspot's version.
And Andy Clashers, who is the blonde bimbo that ruined Van Halen?
Sammy Hagar.
Right. Well,
Funny.
the thing is okay, here's the thing, though. Now, Sammy Hagar, when you hear interviews with him, whether you like his version of Van Halen or not, and I didn't like it as much, but I still thought that they had some really good songs, and he did a good job. Whether you like Sammy, but when you hear Sammy Hagar talk, he seems like a reasonable human being, at least at this point in his life. You hear an interview with him, you hear an interview with Michael Anthony, you're like, oh, I could see why these guys are friends. They seem like nice guys, have a little tequila, have fun, that sounds nice. Go ahead, Bet.
I was genuinely saddened when I missed Sammy Hagar in Cabo San Lucas at Cabo Wabo by one day. Like I had to leave. He was the next night. And it's not like a rarity that he plays there. I just wasn't there when he was there. That's his club. Like we bought some of his tequila, and paid way too much for it.
Right. I've only ever been to the Cabo Wabo that was at Hollywood and Highland.
Oh yeah. Also overpriced.
Yes.
Those days you could go to one of the border towns and you go to one of the duty-free shops and buy a bottle of tequila for $3.
That's more like it.
An okay bottle of tequila.
Sure, right.
$50.
It has the worm and shit too. So you're right. That's okay. And Sammy or Dave? Trick question. Oh, Andy, were you making a? Oh, what was the movie with Brendan Fraser and Adam Sandler and Steve Buscemi? Lower heads, dumb heads, airheads.
Airheads.
Remember Airheads? There's a Sammy or Dave question where they try to figure out if the policeman's if the undercover is a narc or whatever, and they say Sammy or Dave. And Vic, Diver Down was my second concert.
Yeah, sweet.
Very good. That sounds great. That sounds like the perfect time to see them. When they're, I mean, that was like right when they're rising, going to be great. Okay, speaking of rising and great, let's play a new song for everybody.
Ooh.
Yes.
Here we go.
Mike,
And so that,
Even we haven't heard this song yet.
Are you going to introduce the song, or do you want to talk about it afterwards?
yeah, we can talk about it afterwards, see what people think. So if you like the song, hit the thumbs up button a bunch or whatever, and loves and stuff like that. We'll know to talk about it. If you don't like the song, we'll pretend like this never happened. And we'll come back out and talk about something else. So, okay, here's a brand new track. We just finished it today, and this one is called Blackout. Check it out.
Hey, Sybil, what you trying to say? Oh, you don't remember anyway. Collecting scripts like they're going away. Or think about getting out of your day. You say you got multi-personality. I ain't seen one. I ain't seen one. So tell me, who else is living in your skin and wants the chance to take a spin? Why endure every sad second when you can just skip to the you're in a blackout? It doesn't really count. Delete your history for a little mystery. You know I'm always in for some oblivion before you pass out. That's when the real you comes out. Hey baby, you've been pressing your luck as well as pressing a button called self-destruct. You don't know where you've been or who you fucked. You better get your prescription up. You got a condition, a predisposition nobody can resist. Our favorite narcissist. Who else is living in your skin? Just dying for all your attention. You'll be the envy of your friends when you can just skip to the you're in a blackout. It doesn't really count. Delete your history for a little mystery. You know I'm always in for some oblivion before you pass out. That's when the real you comes out. You're in a blackout. It doesn't really count. Delete your history for a little mystery. You know I'm always in for some oblivion before you pass out. That's when the real you comes out. When you're in a blackout, the real you comes out. When you're in a blackout, the real you comes out. Yeah, you're in a blackout. Yeah, you're in a blackout.
Sweet.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I liked it, and that's the important part.
Right. We enjoyed it, so that's
It got Ben's stamp of approval.
right. So now, there we go. We're good to go, guys. Print it. Sounds good. Trippy. Yeah. A little psychedelic. A little psychedelic for you. Fantastic. Hey, thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. Oh, MJ. How you doing?
Hi, MJ.
Hi,
Hold
MJ.
on. Got my Same shirt on today.
Hey, sweet.
That's an oofta right
Yeah,
there.
that is an oofta right there.
A loofta.
1, 2, 3, oofta. I miss your faces. We miss you too, MJ. Hope you're doing well.
Seriously, it's been way too long.
Hope you're having fun with a little bit of anarchy in the UK over there. And anyway, you know what's coming up though, y'all.
What?
Go ahead, Wendy.
Oh, I just thought. Do you want to talk about the song a little?
Yeah.
Sure. All right. It rocks, and so we're happy with it. That's all I gotta say.
What's it about exactly? I mean, some interesting imagery and.
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of the idea that there's sometimes you do things where you can't remember, and if you're the kind of person that like maybe has a lot of restrictions or a lot of inner dialogue, or there's a lot of things that you might be keeping from yourself or other people or something like that. There's that whole point where you wake up after not remembering things and you think it's pretty freaky. So my mother never drank ever. I mean, she was kind of boring that way. No, I love you, Mom. But but she had a heart surgery, and they gave her meds to, obviously, so she, wouldn't feel when they put like a knife in her chest. And she didn't, and so she lost memory from the full day before the surgery.
Wow.
And so like I talked to her and all these things, she had no memory of it. And it freaked her. I mean, it really freaked her out that she lost a day.
That would be really freaky.
That she lost a day of her life. And it's super freaked her out. And as someone who has lost lots of days, it doesn't freak me out that much anymore. But it's also, I mean, people also talk about anxiety, that you get, like when stuff happens. After the next day, they're like, "Oh, what did I do? What happened?" And just that's the idea that and then also some people are different when they're a little wild, and I mean, remember there was a guy that we met that had a different name when he was drunk?
Everybody from Eau Claire?
Not everybody from Eau Claire. Like, they just had different names.
I do remember that guy. What?
Yeah.
He was annoying.
He was he took the microphones. I mean, we met him. We played a show at the Annex. We met this guy, and his friends were like, "Do you understand when he drinks, he has a different name and all those kind of things, like multiple personality disorder." I
don't remember this guy.
Dissociative identity, and so he shook the microphone stand and knocked me in the teeth, and I kicked him on stage.
I remember that.
I kicked the guy. I was like,
I remember that now. Okay.
Yes. So that's kind of a variety of things, I think, and plus but sometimes you're in that kind of, and we've all met people who are dangerous. And I think that's maybe some of the imagery was trying to present. There's certain people who are dangerous. So I think a little bit of everything. So I think everybody can take a little something different from it.
That's cool.
But yeah. Anyway, I am always in for some oblivion. So all right. Well, Andy says he's got a character. Also, in his writing, he's a character with dissociative identity disorder. Writing him is tough but fun.
I bet.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting thing, because some psychiatrists think that it doesn't exist, and some think it's other things manifesting. I mean, he's talking about that though. I mean, when we talk about Eddie Van Halen, like the stuff that he talks about when he talks about his ex-bandmates and stuff, it feels like borderline personality disorder. Whether either you're like his best friend, or he fucking hates you. That's the kind of, that's the borderline you cross.
No gray area.
You don't want to cross the borderline. You're screwed. Here's MJ. My husband calls me Eve when I drink, but it's because I become the instigator of all instigators. eat the apple. Right.
Nice.
Nice.
There you go. Right?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's fun. Well, it's just, yeah, but sometimes that is, and those things can obviously activate some unhealthy behaviors in people, and that's part of the rock and roll lifestyle, for good and bad, So anyway, so that's a fun song, and we'll work some more in the video to perfect it and things like that, and the song, and then hopefully we'll play it at our next show.
Ooh. When's
yes.
that, Mike?
Well, our next show, that one's going to be at the Harmony Bar, and you can see that right here. You can see that the Harmony Bar is coming up March 23rd. March 23rd, you'll see that. We'll be playing with Bing Bong.
Bing Bong.
And they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'll be our first show with them, and also our first show at the Harmony Bar.
Yes.
So if you want to see Sunspot somewhere that you've never seen us before, I mean, in Madison.
Right.
That's exciting, right?
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Great bar.
And also, you should eat dinner there first. Number one, because you're going to need some vomunition. But
the pub chips are to die for.
yeah, the great.
Oh, they have great food there.
Yeah, the food's great.
And you were going to say something, Mike?
Oh, I was going to say, it's a great. You're going to need some vomunition, and number two, the food is very good. So
It's very good. And if you have dinner there before the show, they will give you a $5 off of your show admission price.
There you go.
What?
So there you go. Yeah, I know. It's like,
What? That's where our money
Dinner
comes
and
from. Nobody told me about that.
Mike didn't approve it.
Yeah, so that didn't go through my lawyer.
So when
yeah,
when Wendy and I were at the Mama's, I suppose that was more than just a couple of months ago now, but Bing Bong won a bunch of stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. I've seen them a couple of times, and I think they're good. They'll make a good mix. It's going to be a rockin' out. We're gonna blow the shit out of the Harmony Bar, and
That
you
is
guys are gonna love
awesome.
it. You're gonna love
It's
it.
so much fun to see everybody.
So that's coming up in just 2 months. So a month and a half.
Yes, but you got
Mike,
plenty of
do we-
time to put it on the calendar and plan
Right.
accordingly, right?
Yes.
Mike, do we have time to talk about the song more?
Yeah. Feel free to talk about what you like.
Wendy, what did you use for the drums? Like you got
I used my-
gear that you were using.
I used my V drums over here.
Sweet.
But I got a new plugin for a new VST for
Yeah.
the which is the Chris Lord Alge add-on to I have the Steven Slate drums SSD5 plugin that I use to get a nice
Yeah.
sounding drum. And so I just got that. They just released that plugin like a month or two ago, and so I splurged for it.
Yeah,
It
and
sounds really good.
And the funny thing is, I use the Chris Lord Alge plugins for all of the other instruments. So
Oh,
for
wow.
for the
So-
guitar,
so
the
Chris
bass,
Lord Alge
and the
is-
vocal.
He's
We're
a
gonna
guy.
we're gonna tell people he produced our song.
This song
He's
was
the-
brought to you by.
Right. He's done some amazing stuff. Like
Oh yeah,
yeah. So he's pretty awesome. And some big bands. Not us, but we're gonna tell people he produced our song because we use his plugins.
he's all over that song, man.
Yes.
I think there were also 4 different kinds of guitars used on that song.
Wow.
Mike, when you demoed the song, what was the what's the guitar that you played on that one?
I used a Fender Stratocaster.
And I used Fender Telecaster and an old school Hamer and our the Hoyer that we got from the guy that made Prince's guitar and lost everything.
It was
in the
Prince.
divorce.
We got it
And
from
then-
Prince.
Right. We should just tell people we got it from Prince.
Yeah, it's fine. He's dead. He's not going to tell anybody else.
It's more or less the same thing. I mean, honestly.
Okay, MJ, real quick, will you guys be at Michigan Paracon? Yeah. I think that is the plan.
Is that an affirmative?
That is. I
Will
think that,
you be?
that
I
is
know
an
you're going to
I
be
didn't
there.
even
MJ.
know
I've seen.
Oh.
There you go.
We have not signed the contract yet, but we already talked to the casino guy that books it, and he's all about it. And already paid for a booth, So we're gonna be there.
There you go.
We're gonna have fun and
So
get
we
to hang out.
have the contract, and now that everybody says that we should be there, I guess we're going. So.
Yes, that's
There's
right.
no choice.
Yeah,
But it'll be great because we missed seeing you last year.
yeah,
I mean, if you're smart, you just do what MJ says. That's
right. That is.
good.
She'll, right. Oh,
Pretty
she'll
much.
or she'll cast a spell on you on her magical Monday. You don't want to be.
fair enough.
You don't want to be on the receiving end of a bad one. Okay. Hey, all right. So I was gonna say next week. What for a week from today? What's today is February 7th, so a week from today is the 14th. And what day happens on the 14th? It's Oral Sex for Jewelry Day.
Valentine's Day. Wait, look, I wear my little
Oh,
Valentine.
you did?
hat.
Okay, look at that.
Can't really see it, but here.
All right, Wendy, there it is. The heart. That's a very nice little heart.
Indeed. Thank you.
So, okay, Valentine's Day is coming up. Some people are really into it. Some people aren't. Our friend Kyle has an anti-Valentine's Day party every year because
Gosh,
He hates
epic. Yes.
a big party dedicated to like a screw Valentine's Day kind of thing. I
But
think
he
it's
does
nice.
cool stuff. Like he took our old van seats and turned them into a Ferris wheel. 'Cause
He did
did
that. That was pretty cool. Okay, didn't Tim used to have a song called "Screw Valentine's Day"? Tim Budushevsky.
Oh.
I think.
Oh, fuck Walmart.
Yeah, he definitely had Government Zero, who had joined us in the chat earlier, had a song called "Fuck Walmart." But also, I believe Tim had a "Screw Valentine's Day" song that he used to sing.
Well, somebody from Government Zero was on here before, so
Yes, so that's probably Chris.
Consult the
So Chris,
oracle.
if you're still out there, anyway. Okay, so just saying. So what's everybody's? Let's start with a couple of things. What were your best Valentine's Day? Let's start with that, and you guys can answer that in the chat. Do you have any stories about what your best Valentine's Day was, or your favorite one?
share with us. Share with us.
I can start. My wife and I are very holiday people, so Valentine's Day isn't usually a big deal. But a few years ago, we were in Puerto Rico on Valentine's Day, and we were with our daughter. And the night before, I was going to get some groceries at like this supermarket like near where we were staying, which was like a little condo on the beach in San Juan. And as I was just roaming around as I was roaming around the place,
As you do.
the supermarket, trying to figure out all this shit in Spanish, right? I mean, half of it's in English, but there's a ton of stuff that's just in Spanish, and there's specialty foods and stuff like that, and it's an old culture. I'm looking around, and this guy comes up to me. He's like, "You know what tomorrow is?" And I'm like, what? He's like, "It's Valentine's Day. You need to get something for your lady." And he's like taking me, showing me where the flowers are, the wine, all the chocolates. He's like, "You get her this, she's gonna love it, man." And he just goes in. There's the whole thing for like 5 minutes. It's like old guy wants to give me the places to get all the stuff for Valentine's Day. And it just was a funny story. So I had to tell my wife when I came home, and we had a nice day. The next day, I went on a cemetery tour, which was a lot of fun. And then we went to go to some of the forts, the haunted forts, and I went my daughter sitting on a cannon, and it was a really nice time. We had nice memories of that Valentine's Day. And then we had there's a restaurant across the street that had a flight of tequila, and then so we had a bunch of tequilas, and it was just a lovely, lovely night. So that's just one of my favorite Valentine's Days. But it was because of that guy who was like, "Hey, man." And then he proceeded to like make sure that I got something for Valentine's Day. He's like, "You're going to get something for your lady, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I think." And he's like, "This is what you're going to do." And he just told me to go to all those places. And it was just ridiculous. And it was
I'm so
wonderful.
glad that guy made your Valentine's Day, Mike.
He did. And then we had a really fun day.
Very
the next-
romantic.
we were going to have a fun day the next day anyway, right? But him just doing it and like taking 5 minutes out of his time, it's a funny story. It's a weird guy. And I'm like, gracias, amigo, for, making sure that my V-Day went A-okay. All right. There's, and this is obviously how Andy feels. Fuck Valentine's Day. I understand. Our friend Tim felt the same way. And our friend Kyle obviously feels the same way. And so anybody else have a favorite Valentine's?
I got nothing, Mike. can't even manufacture.
Oh
Like
dear.
I don't know. Like
Make
That's
this
all right.
one your best one then.
Right. You got a week.
Got a week.
You got a week, amigo. That guy. I'll send that guy over to your house, dude. He'll set you up for a fat Valentine's Day. He'll set you up.
Great.
I should have gotten a picture of that guy. It's always weird, and when you're a tourist or whatever, you're the asshole. It's always taking pictures. Oh, let's get a picture together. But it just,
Right.
I'd love to remember his face. He just exists as the crazy Valentine's Day Puerto Rican in my head.
I think we all wish you'd had a picture because then you could share it with us right now and we could
Yes.
all think of him.
Yes. Oh, MJ's got to run. He's got to go to bed.
Aw.
Get some sleep. Back to book research. Good luck. Good luck.
Thanks for
And-
popping in. Good
and
luck on the book. Can't wait
MJ's
to read it.
goodbye.
see you
Never.
in August.
The Never Goodbye, Only Good Night is a really cool book. I want a copy.
For sure.
All right. So how about your worst Valentine's Day? All right. So we went over. So if you're like, well, I don't know about a best one. How about your worst one? Is there something that sticks out as
Gotta be stories from like middle school or something, right?
right? That's what I'm thinking.
Like,
So
yeah,
you gotta have.
that
You
was
gotta
always
have a.
like.
Go ahead, Wendy.
Remember when
No,
we were
I-
kids and you had to like do the little Valentine's like mailbox thing and everybody had to make Valentines for each other?
Yeah.
Do
Or
they still do that?
they still do it in my daughter's grade school.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah. So that, but then you got to do it for everybody, so nobody gets left out, and that's a good thing because otherwise some kids would never get Valentine's Day. That's
Right,
shitty.
like, when we were kids, there was no requirement to do them for everybody. You
Oh,
could
we
leave
had-
people out.
In Big Bend, we had to. You couldn't leave people out.
Oh, I
At
mean,
least, I mean, but I was the kind of guy that invited everybody to my birthday party in my class because I didn't want them to feel bad.
well, yeah, you're a nice
Now you're
person.
required to, like until a certain age.
Oh, I didn't know you were required to.
Yeah.
Oh, good, because I mean, I didn't invite all my daughter's friends because I don't trust them. I don't. They're like 7 years old. You can't trust a 7-year-old. All right. So then there's also in high school we had the show choir or whatever. So like you'd pay people to sing a Valentine's song.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I did that one year. I went along. Dude, show choir was great. It was me and another guy. And it was all girls.
Oh,
And people were like, show choir, what's that? I'm like, it's a chance for me to hang out with all girls for an entire hour and sing with them and like try
come on, Mike.
try my magic charms.
Don't pretend like that's the only reason. You've been a showman your whole life.
You can't trust a 47-year-old either. That's for faux show, Miss Chris.
It worked on me too, Lenny. Same show choir. Like,
Yeah.
they were like, hey, does your jazz combo on a tour with the show choir? And
Jazz
I
hands.
was like, yeah. All right.
So you guys have your little like top hats and your
I don't know what I had to do. Whatever I had to do it.
Yeah, no, maybe Mike had to.
Whatever
Yeah.
I did was worth it, my friends. Whatever I did was worth it. The show
I
choir
just
was great.
remembered my worst Valentine's Day.
Yes, okay. But
Oh, all right,
So,
here it comes.
When I
Drum
was
roll.
in like first grade or something. Well, you can do that, huh?
what do you mean? I certainly can.
Oh
all right.
no.
Sorry. Air horn's
no,
done.
no, stop it.
It's out. I'm out.
And I don't know what grade it was. Probably like second grade or something. I, as an inexperienced young male, wrote on the box, because we did the same thing where everybody was required to, contribute Valentines to everybody's box and stuff. And my box said, no Valentines from girls. I was discriminatory, and I regret it. So, it was my worst Valentine's
That's
Day.
the best.
Oh man.
No
man.
Valentines. Only the guys. Give me Valentines. No ladies
Only the
allowed.
dudes.
He's like Spanky or whatever from our gang. I mean, I guess right. No Valentines from girls. Spanky would be an appropriate name. But the yeah. All right. That's pretty good. Mine was 7th grade.
Well,
Worst
that's
Valentine.
nice. Uh-oh. Here it
Worst-
So
comes.
I remember that one. What happened?
Where's Valentine's Day? The first girl I was dated or whatever, or dated. You can't. You can't say. I mean, you dated as far as 7th grade goes.
Right. at that age.
Broke up with me on Valentine's Day. Like wrote me a note. Like, oh, it's all over. It's all done.
Oh, that's harsh.
And I'd gotten her something. And I'm like, you bitch, I got you something. And so that was a rough one. Anyway, we're friends and everything's cool. Everything's 40 years later. But at the time, I was pretty upset. Got my, I did not say no Valentines from girls. I just said Valentines from one girl. And then she sent me a Valentine that said, go to hell, Mike. She didn't say go to hell, but that's how
Terrible
it felt.
form.
Yeah, wait till at least do it a little earlier. Wait till after.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure leading up to it, she knew. So
yeah, the
that's a poor choice.
first girl I ever kissed dumped me on Valentine's Day.
Rough.
Yeah, that's one. So that was my worst Valentine's Day. 13, and it scarred me.
Glad you made it through, though.
Yeah,
you made it through to the other side.
Came out the other side. All right, Wendy, any horrible Valentine's Day stories from you?
I can't remember any really horrible ones, honestly. I've always had a really positive, I always loved Valentine's Day even when I was a little kid, because it's like you associate it with What was that?
That was just celebrating the fact that you love Valentine's Day.
Cat or something?
No.
You get candy.
Not me.
Like a noisemaker.
What was that? Oh, okay.
All right. Okay.
You get chocolate, and flowers are pretty, and I always loved it. And also my family always celebrated it, mom would make a special dinner, and so it's always a fun day just to celebrate. It doesn't have to be necessarily romantic, although my favorite Valentine's Day was very romantic.
Oh.
But yeah, 5 years ago, Scott and I were in Hawaii, and he just proposed to me, and then we went out for dinner with friends of his that I hadn't met yet. So it was just a very cool night, very special night. But
so you got proposed to on Valentine's Day?
Not on Valentine's Day. No, it was
Okay.
5 days before, but we were still in Hawaii, so we were living it up, having a good
Sure.
time, celebrating, all
right.
that. So it's all very, very positive memories.
Okay, good.
So I'm thankful I haven't had a bad, really a terrible one that has traumatized me like you, Mike.
Yeah?
I always hated those in high school and stuff when they would have deliver a carnation to somebody. Did you guys have that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because
So
all of a sudden in
here-
middle class, somebody busts in and drops carnations off at various people's desks.
Yeah, so wait, Ben's got a story too. So
Uh-oh,
Ben,
Ben's got a
did you
story.
have that little sign on your desk in 7th grade? No carnations from the ladies, please. I'm a serious student. I'm a tubist.
I wasn't yet in second grade. I was only a pianist.
All right.
Okay, so I would like to amend my previous answer.
Okay.
See, I have a lot of great memories, but some of the time it doesn't link up with the calendar. So yes, my wife Allison. So when we were dating, and I was teaching a group of kids, she had purchased a barbershop quartet. And her whole family is barbershop singers. And so, 6 hours away, she purchased a barbershop quartet to come sing to me at my place of employment, and in front of a bunch of 11-year-olds. And it was the sweetest, most hysterical thing. So that is a very good Valentine's Day memory. So thank you for jogging that memory, because sometimes it just takes a minute to pull it all out.
Sure. Well, that's when you worked at the barbershop.
Nice. Yeah, totally.
You said the place
the
of
rim shot,
employment,
Mike?
right? There's no rim shot, but there is a
Hip hop air
we do
horn.
have.
So
What's
yeah,
up,
there's
y'all?
plenty in here.
my
Just
gosh.
accessing it sometimes takes a little time.
Well, that's right. You're in the blackout, Ben. All right. Hey, speaking of, let's do a quick song for Valentine's Day. And so this is from this one goes out to all you lovers, and this is from Major Arcana our live concert film. And so there's a little intro to it. And this song is called Eat Out My Heart. And I'd like to dedicate this to everybody who got dumped on Valentine's Day.
I don't want her to move on and be happy. I don't hope the best for her. I hope her life sucks.
Well, I waited so long for you to call, but now you're finally here and I'm a wreck. I worked out a little, can't you tell? I even did my hair, but I'm not the man I used to be back then. I hope you have an ugly boyfriend. Hope you're working at a car wash. I hope your life went down the drain and everything is not okay. I hope your best years pass you up. Well, I dodged a bullet, no shit. Oh, I'm a 2 cents in, but you're not the only one who calls me up. But I'm still the jerk off who listens to your problems. But I never told you all those times I wish you died in a car crash. I hope you have an ugly boyfriend. I hope you're working at a car wash. Hope your life went down the drain and everything is not okay. I hope your best years passed you up. I hope your life sucks. Go get him, Wendy. Guess what I hate you.
Look at that enthusiastic crowd there. Oh. All right. Look at that enthusiastic crowd for Eat Up My Heart at the live at the Annex in Madison. All right. So that was fun. I haven't watched that video in a couple of years. So still looks good. Chris, always a good one. Thank
I've seen
you.
the Summer
I'll take
Day
that.
one a few times recently.
We watched it at the last live stream.
Right, but like
Yeah.
I've seen it a bunch of times, like in the last year. That's
I see.
one of my favorite ones to watch.
Yeah, it's a good one. I
Like
agree.
the dialogue with the actors and stuff. It's all fun.
Yeah, so that's on YouTube. That's Major Arcana. It's our full concert film. We did that about a little over a decade ago, and so that's got a little storyline and stuff like that. Oh, Andy, the original "Died in a Car Crash" lyrics in there, and apologizing on Facebook instead of Instagram. Yeah, because that was the Facebook joke was new, and then that was before we tried to think of a way to kill the antagonist of the song in a unique way for the venue. So maybe at the Harmony Bar, it'll be choked to death on a walnut burger, or drown in blue cheese.
Yeah, there you go.
Would be another way.
What a way to go.
That'd be a fine way to go. Drowning. Listen, yeah, I just can't wait to drown in blue cheese. Happy Valentine's Day, ladies.
Spear with a billiard cue. They still have.
They did. I just watched some people play pool there on Sunday. I had dinner there on Sunday.
Just making sure they haven't gotten rid of it in the past few months.
They have not. They have not. Okay. Hey, for anybody who, if you guys are watching this later or if you're tuning in and you haven't met us before, you can learn more about us at sunspotmusic.com. That's got links to all of our social.
Right there.
Right there. And then in a couple weeks, we'll be having some more fun at patreon.com/sunspotmusic in the Patreon group. And there you go. And so that's a great place to check it out. And you can join that. So I hope you guys are enjoying that. And to all the people who support us on Patreon, we got to give you a Valentine's Day oofta because we do love you.
And thanks to everybody who tuned in and joined us tonight. Always good to catch up with folks.
Yeah. So make sure that you guys out there are thinking about, number one, the Harmony Bar coming up in just a few weeks. And then we got some more show announcements for you coming up after that. We have a slot at Bratfest we're real excited about. We're going to tell you about soon. And then we're playing a special party for our friends in April. And we're going to tell everybody about that as well when that time comes. So I hope you guys are getting ready to party and hang out and do a lot because, anyway, there's a lot of live shows and things like that coming up in 2024. Yeah, and then we're going to be putting a video up of Blackout on YouTube and Facebook that you can share. And so once that goes up next week, it would be great if you guys would share that. That's the kind of thing that really helps the band out and lets your friends know that you have amazing taste in music. So, Pam, sending love from Minnesota.
Aww.
Love it. Love it. Hope you're doing well, Pam. Hope we get to see you at a paranormal convention or at a show sometime in 2024. I really do. And we're planning on being in Minnesota in May as well, and we'll be talking about that as soon as the ink is dry on the contract. We can talk about that.
Conference.
Yeah, and it's really fun. It's not our first time at the hotel, Ben, though. We played at the hotel the conference is at, and we got I got lost there in 2007. Yeah.
Right, but it's my first time at the Parrot.
Right. But it's still a pretty easy place to get lost.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huger than China. Anyway, I'm sure we'll be hearing enough of that accent in 2024.
Oh no.
So all right.
Shush.
That's coming up. Andy, hey, thank you. It was good to spend an hour with you as well. And we look forward to seeing you at the Patreon Hangout in just a couple of weeks. And then for another live stream next month. And hope everybody just has an amazing Valentine's Day. No matter how you celebrate it, whether you celebrate it with a friend, with a significant other, or like Spanky in the clubhouse, we hope that it's a great time, whatever you plan on doing. And then we will talk to you soon. Everybody, stay safe and stay hungry. We'll see you soon.
Cheerio. Love you. Bye.
Bye.